Hello guys, and welcome here to the Kentucky Motor Speedway. It's a Jello Cup Series. This is race number, is it 22, I believe, from the Kentucky Speedway. 23 from the Kentucky Speedway. Today we present to you the Quaker State 400. I'm Brian James here in the booth with you. Starting on the pole is one of your go-or-go homers. It is Keith Stevens. He will start from the pole, and to his outside will be the runner-up from the last race. That is Alexander Rowe. He will start in second. Before we get going, let's take a look at your knockout qualifying results. Rhoda Maratz, Jody Shane Davis, Willa Ruby Crouch, Max Anderson, Francis Hawes, Keith Stevens, as mentioned, and Tyler Rattry. They have all advanced to today. Another thing to keep in mind after this race, we only have 3 more races until the playoffs, so there is a little bit of significance in this race. Because keep in mind as well, the next race we have is a week and a half away when we take on the Nashville Super Speedway, because we do not have a race next weekend for the Jello Cup Series. So it's about, I would say, 11 days away. So we have 11 days between now and our next race. And that, of course, again, at Nashville. And then, of course, after that, we have Canadian Tire, and then we have Indianapolis. So this is really the last, in a sense, cookie cutter that we have until the playoffs. With that said, let's take a look at your playoff scenario right now. So currently, Zach Fitzwater is the top seed. With 5 wins, he's got 31 playoff points. You notice in yellow, those guys who have not won a race, but they have enough points to advance. Keep in mind, if somehow, someway, Jordan Anderson gets into that top 30, it wipes out one of their spots. If someone below that cut line, below Michael Collins wins, that effectively bumps him out. Or it could bump Astrid Flores out. Obviously, we know Jody Shane Davis, she won at Zen Joltis. She is not a factor in this playoff picture. She is well far out of it. She is more just competing for fun, trying to end the season on a high note. So, big thing we're going to keep an eye on in this race is, will we get a new winner? You know, Alexander Rowe, he starts in second. If he wins this race, he moves the cut line down, or he hurts them in the cut line. Now, the 37 can't affect the cut line because he's too far out of it, much like his teammate. Anyway, that's all I've got. Let's roll the intro, and we'll be back with your starting lineup here from Kentucky in just a moment.
You are watching the Gaming Collaboration Network, home of the Jello Cup Series.
Oh, and through turns 3 and 4, we're going to have ourselves another photo finish, and I believe this time the 43 Tim Randolph will win at Daytona.
The Lift National Series. Here we go. They make their way through turn 3 and 4. The pace car will peel off. And for the first time ever, the Lift National Series is green here at Daytona. The Hitachi Truck Series. And here we go. The pace truck is gonna peel off. And for the first time ever in GCN history, we have a truck series, and we are underway under the lights here at Daytona in Tuesday night heat. Start for us. Your GCN presentation starts right now.
Here we go. The cars are coming out on track right now. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. That'll be on the left-hand side of your screen. Of course, again, keep in mind, we mentioned it, 3 races until the playoffs after today. not many chances left. I mean, Nashville, of course, Canadian Tire, and then Indianapolis, some 3 tracks that anything could happen. Obviously, Nashville more like a mile and a half, but is not a mile and a half. We'll see what happens, though, as Keith Stevens and Alexander Rowe, they lead us to the start-finish as the green flag flies. We're underway at Kentucky. One factor about Kentucky, that outside lane has been so effective here. That inside just doesn't have the grip. Alexander Rowe, he will lead the opening lap. Keep in mind for him, it's not about playoff points. He needs a win. And he needs one bad. He is well out of the points picture for the regular season championship. He just needs a win. And he needs to lead the most laps as well. Because keep in mind, another thing I didn't mention when we saw that playoff picture. Nathan Fade and Diego Yepes. They, of course, only have 5 playoff points. Those two, and keep in mind this happened to Nathan Faden last season. He missed the playoffs by just a few points. You got to imagine that's weighing on him. He's currently last in the race. So he's going to have some work to do to get up front. Maybe not enough time, you never know though. And then Diego Yepes as well, 5 playoff points. Again, we've stressed it all year. If you have 5 playoff points, you're likely not making the postseason. So the question is, and obviously they need to get up front and maybe lead some laps. They don't necessarily need a win, but they need to start leading some laps to start making an impact here. And of course, keep in mind Indianapolis as well. Keep in mind if we have 3 different winners, all inside the top 30, guys who have not won yet this season, like Alexander Rowe, who's leading. If we have that happen, and then we go to the double points race at Indianapolis, someone could win and effectively bump them out of that spot. They could bump both of them out in those final 3 races. I've seen it happen. It's likely that it could. I wouldn't rule it out. But again, I only stress this because it's something that can happen. It's always a possibility that something like that could happen. And that's definitely going to be weighing on these guys' minds as we get through the majority of the race here. Here comes the 37 of Keith Stevens. Keep in mind that inside doesn't work very well. So if he's going to pass, he's going to want to be to that outside lane. Of course, Keith Stevens is a winner in both the Lift National and the Hitachi Truck Series this season. And speaking of the Hitachi Trucks, it's a busy weekend here on GCN. Not because it's 3 races, that's pretty normal. But it's 3 races at 3 different tracks. Of course, yesterday we had Iowa. It was a wreck fest, at which Alexander Rowe won. So, Alexander Rowe won that race. Then we had here, Alexander Rowe's the leader. After this, some of these guys, like Keith Stevens, like Alexander Rowe, they're going to hop on a plane once again. And they're headed down to Orlando, Florida, because they will be taking on the Walt Disney Speedway tomorrow for the Hitachi Truck Race. The Chevy Truck Challenge is tomorrow afternoon. A rare Sunday showcase for the Truck Series. Of Of course, they have a few Sunday races this month. Keep in mind, they run the next Sunday race that they have is at Indianapolis at the end of the month. And they got a nice schedule this month too. They of course got Walt Disney, then they got Mo Sport, or then they got Eldora, then they got Mo Sport, then they got Indianapolis, much like the Cup, except Eldora's on that schedule. And then of course coming up soon, of course we got some one race contract guys that'll take part in the Eldora race. I don't exactly know the names because I'm recording this before I had recorded those signups. But here comes Keith Stevens trying to make something happen here in the early stages, as Alexander Rowe has led the early portion of the race thus far. Another thing we want to keep an eye on is that points battle. Right now, Dustin Davis, he's the points leader entering this race. He's got a 79-point advantage. And you see right there, he's going to get around some guys. He'll move to 15th. He, of course, ended 2020 on a cold streak. He is looking to come into 2021 and seal the deal, win this championship before we go to Indy. Because keep in mind, if and that's another thing you got to keep in mind here. Dustin Davis winning, or Dustin Davis losing that points lead, rather, as you see pit stops occur, the 13 is around. Oh, the 22's involved. That for sure will bring out a caution. Dylan Young's involved back there. Huge wreck on the front stretch. Tyler Rattray was involved. I believe the 27 stayed out, and he's going to benefit from this. He still hasn't even seen the caution flag yet. So he's going to pin all these guys a lap down, and he's going to keep the race lead effectively. Dylan Young, a tough break for him. He's one of the guys trying to stay in that top 30. And I believe he is also one of the guys with just 5 playoff points to his name. No, he's got 6, so... But he could use maybe one more. Who knows? But not good for Dylan Young here, as we'll see the pit stops. But again, what I was saying is if Dustin Davis loses that points lead, which he won't in this race, probably won't in the next race, but if he loses it, that opens up another opportunity. Keep in mind, because he hasn't won a race yet this year. But that doesn't rule out that he could win one. If he does win one, of course, it likely won't matter because he's already got a playoff point. Anyway, here we go. Leaders are in. The right sides will go on. Now they'll change 4 tires. And the 27 will win the race off. And I believe Frode Maratz will come out. No, it's close. Did Frode Maratz come off second? I don't think so. Let's go see what happened. Just off the corner there, Tyler Rattray's really high up the track. Tried to come down. Maybe he was out of fuel or something. He spins around. Dustin Davis somehow avoids that, but Samet Ozkan not so lucky. That's a tough break for him. His teammate also gets involved. Slams into the 13, flips him over. 2 of the Penske cars that are on the verge of either making or missing the playoffs involved. Tough break for them. We'll take you back to the green here in just a moment. Here we go. We're getting ready for the restart here. 3 cars out of the race. Dylan Young, Tyler Rattray, Samet Ozkan. Tough break for the 2 Penske guys. Again, Samet Ozkan was one of the guys in that playoff picture entering this race. Of course, he was 34 points back of Michael Collins. He's going to be a lot further back after this race. And that's, of course, pending on who wins the race, because right now, I believe Michael Collins would be bumped because Alexander Rowe is the current leader. Tim Randolph is in second, Frodemar Otts in third, Jody Shane Davis fourth, Scott Upton fifth, Mohammed Zain Abdullah in sixth, Jesse James in seventh, Mitchell Collins in eighth, Sky Commons in ninth, and Dustin Davis will round out your top 10. Of course, when we go back green here, as we will, green flag waves, we have a lap traffic moment presented by Fitzwater's Angriness. And this is not going to be an easy lap traffic moment for these guys because, again, you don't want to pass to that inside. You will lose positions if you do that. Here comes Jody Shane Davis, the most recent winner. As Frodemar Otts goes to the outside, he'll get second. Keep in mind, Frodemar Otts is another guy well out of the playoff picture. He has no shot of making it. He's only, of course, if that team wins, keep in mind, by the rules, if those teams win, the go or go homers, they win. They, of course, need 2 wins. Jody Shane Davis is looking for that second victory of the year. Behind, there's another wreck, and it involves our points leader. Dustin Davis around the caution comes out. Eric Faden, Nicky Martinez. And guess what? Francis Hawes is the only one that's going to get trapped a lap down. So the 16 and 37 catch a big break here. And that, of course, is good for Tyler Faden. He's another one on that bubble. And some bad news for Frodemar Otts because, of course, that is Alexander Rowe's teammate right there that he just put a lap down. So you know that possibly some team orders are going to get played here. But what I was saying is the go or go homers, if they get 2 wins at top 33 for season 7, they could lock their teams in and avoid having to worry about the random draw that ensues. Anyway, the leaders are pitting. I don't think anybody is going to stay out here. Doesn't look like it. But Dustin Davis, a tough break for the points leader. We thought things were starting to go his way, and then he gets involved in a wreck. Not what he wanted to happen. And it looks like they're just going to top off with fuel here, probably to ensure they can make it to the finish. Well, let's go see what happened. And yeah, just 3 wide, it looks like, coming off the corner. Dustin Davis just got way too high up the track. He clips the 95, the 32's involved. And right there, Eric Faden into the side of the 95. Dallas Jordan trying to avoid it, but she's kind of just slowed up by it. She'll lose a few positions. Tough break for the points leader. We'll take you back to the green in just a moment. Here we go. They're in turn 2. We're getting ready for the restart here. As much as I'd like to say that that wreck helped Zach Fitzwater, really didn't. Zach Fitzwater 37th right now, lap down. Dustin Davis manages to stay on the lead lap. He's 25th. So again, I'd love to say that would help out Fitzwater, but it really didn't help him. It could have helped a guy like Scott Upton, though, who's currently in 7th. Possibly Mohammed Zain Abdullah, too, in 13th. But not a whole lot. Not that Zach Fitzwater, I'm sure, would wish someone to get seriously wrecked, but you can imagine he's sitting there saying, man, I wish Dustin Davis was out of the race. Anyway, Alexander Rowe, Tim Randolph, Jody Shane Davis, Frodemar Otts, Sky Commons, that's your top 5. As the green flag will wave, we're back underway at Kentucky. And Alexander Rowe has led every step of the way. An issue for the 43. Scott Upton not up to speed. He is having major problems. Now he's going to slow up the guys back here. But he is having a massive problem right now. That is not good for the 2-win driver this season. Up front, Jody Shane Davis just got second. She now looks for the race lead. And again, we remind you, if Jody Shane Davis wins this race, that 47 is locked into the top 33 in season number 7. So you know that's weighing on her mind right now. Here comes that 6 to the outside. He'll get blocked. And now the 27 is facing the most pressure he's faced all race. Of course, he's led the most laps. He's got that playoff point, which is good. That should help him. I don't want to say it will, but it should. Here goes the 6 again. If he's going to make the pass, he needs to do so on the front stretch. Keep in mind, those two battled for a championship last season. Tim Randolph will take the race lead. Nothing that Alexander Rowe could have done in that situation. As now Tim Randolph is the race leader at Kentucky. You gotta imagine this is now fueling Alexander Rowe. He needs something to happen. Here comes Sky Commons as well. He's up to 4th. Keep an eye on that 10. You see there Alexander Rowe diving into turns 1 and 2, trying to make something happen. There goes the 47, trying to pass for second. Won't happen. Yeah, these two battled for the championship last season. Tim Randolph was so close, but Alexander Rowe in overtime made it happen. Him and Trevor Collins finished 1-2 in that championship battle. And of course, both these guys battling to make the playoffs. Back here again, Jody Shane Davis looking for second. This could help that 27. He's got to be saying, thank you for trying to pass me, because now I can get around the 6. Here goes the 27, Alexander Rowe. He'll take the lead back on the outside. He's going to be thanking Jody Shane Davis later if he wins this race. Here goes Sky Commons looking for 3rd. Back there as well is Mitchell Collins, another guy who's been runner-up a lot this season. Has been close, but he needs something big to happen. And Tim Randolph trying to make something happen right now. Again, he's another guy, one of the Championship 4 drivers who is not in the playoff picture yet this season. But he is in the Lift National playoffs, give him that. And I believe he's currently in one of the front runners to make the truck playoffs. You'll see tomorrow. Here goes the 6. It won't happen this time. The other thing we can't rule out, and there it is. I was going to say we can't rule out pit stops. Here they are. Up ahead is Scott Upton as well. He pitted, I believe, to fix whatever was wrong with the car. But Jody Shane Davis takes the lead. And the question is, now that she is in clean air, turning some good laps, will it help her to get that race lead? Could it help Mohammed Zain Abdullah as well? She's going to pit this time. So will... Oh, man, I think the 17 just missed the pit lane, or he got held up. He's going to lead a lap, but that is going to hurt the 17. He's going to lose a lot of positions. Xavier Rain also stayed out. This might hurt them now. See, Alexander Rowe beats those guys off the pit lane. And now Mohammed Zain Abdullah will come to the pit lane. Not what he needed. 16's in as well. So is the 4. And the question is, where will the 27 come off in relation to Jody Shane Davis? There's the 5, there's the 88, where's the 47? Oh man, he might have just lost a handful of positions. Yeah, Jody Shane Davis came off well ahead of the 27. So pitting early might have just costed Alexander Rowe a win. As Jody Shane Davis will go to the race lead. Sky Commons will be in second. Keep in mind, neither of those two really impact much, as Francis Hawes will go to second. So now it's a go or go home. Oh wait, maybe, I forget. Actually, Francis Hawes is a lap down. The real battle for second is back here with Mohammed Zain Abdullah in Sky Commons. And Sky Commons going to get a good run off the corner. He'll keep the position. But man, that really has to sting for Alexander Rowe. He was so close. He tasted victory almost right there. And for Jody Shane Davis right now, 4 to go. Does she have enough? Here comes that 51. This is now a lap traffic moment presented by Fitzwater's Angriness. How much of an impact will it have? It doesn't look like much. Three to go for Jody Shane Davis. And what could be a top 33 clinching win here. Because again, keep in mind, another thing to keep in mind, she is still last in the point standings of all the full-time drivers in the series. So her really taking it to these guys at Zen Joltis and possibly here now at Kentucky is huge. 2 to go. And this time I think Sky Commons is going to get around that 51. I think he's going to do it. If he does, he might have a shot. Oh man, it's close. Here we go. They're still side by side. He's got to be saying, come on, Francis, get out of the way. 1 lap to go, presented by Mitchell's Memes. The final lap here. Man, he has really got to be screaming right now. Sky Commons, because that 51 is really costing him a shot at some valuable playoff points. Here we go. Through turns 3 and 4. Here comes the 10. It just won't be enough. Jody Shane Davis pulled off an upset last week. She does again here today at Kentucky. Back-to-back wins for the 47. Congratulations to Jody Shane Davis. And not only that, that 47 is now locked in to the first 5 races of season number 7, assuming we keep the same rules, which we likely will. So for her now, mission accomplished, but obviously, again, can't make the playoffs. She's well out of the picture for that. But again, to put the 47 in, not have to worry about the draw for next season, assuming she returns to JTG Doherty to drive that 47. This is a good step forward for her to really show what she can do. Back-to-back wins to open up 2021. How about that? Undefeated in 2021 for Jody Shane Davis. Congratulations. We want to thank you for watching. We're going to show you results and standings, and we will be back here in the Jello Cup Series in a week and a half, 11 days. And we take on the Nashville Super Speedway. Otherwise, we hope to see you for the races this weekend. Of course, Eldora tomorrow. Then next weekend, when the Truck Series takes on Eldora and the National Series takes on Mid-Ohio. Until then, goodbye, everyone.